White supremacists love to claim that white people are a default majority in certain regions and are now being replaced. The truth? White people have never been a global majority. Not even in Europe. Not even in the US. Not even at the peak of their global dominance. At every point in recorded human history, the majority of people have been from Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Not from Europe. In the ancient world, the largest populations were always in China, India, and Africa. After 1500 CE, even during European colonial expansion, Asia alone had more people than Europe, Africa, and the Americas combined. Today, white Europeans and their descendants only make up about 11 to 12% of the world's entire population. There's never been a time in history when white people were even close to being a majority. Even within Europe itself, white as an identity is a modern invention, and different groups fought and defined themselves more by class, religion, and culture than by race. Ancient Europe was a mix of Celtic, Germanic, Slavic, Middle Eastern, and Mediterranean influences. Southern Europe, Italy, Greece, Spain, and Portugal, has always been heavily mixed with African, Asian, and Middle Eastern influences. The Ottoman Empire controlled much of Southern and Eastern Europe for centuries, integrating people from Turkey, North Africa, and the Balkans. The idea that Europe was ever a racially homogeneous white homeland is pure fiction. White supremacists claim that the US was originally a white nation. The truth is, indigenous people were the majority for 13,000 years before white settlers arrived. The US was built on stolen land, with a population of African slaves making up a significant portion of early American labor. Mass European immigration in the late 1800s and early 1900s artificially increased the white population. The 1790 Naturalization Act restricted citizenship to free white persons, specifically to inflate white numbers. White people only became a numerical majority in North America because of land theft, genocide, and racist immigration policies. Despite European colonial rule, Latin America was never majority white. Spain and Portugal ruled, but never whitened the continent. They intermarried with indigenous and African peoples, creating a racially mixed society. Most of Latin America today is mestizo, mixed indigenous and European descent, or Afro-Latinx. Even Argentina and Chile, often considered the whitest Latin American countries, have significant indigenous and non-European ancestry. At no point has Latin America ever been majority white.
One, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere here. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash, all praises and glory is due. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video. Now let's get right into it. So this is the book of Obadiah 1, and I'll just go to Obadiah 1 verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Right, and this is a response to the video that I put in right before this one. It's of course going into Esau Edom and how Esau Edom, the so-called red man that is ruling over the earth today, and how they are actually the minority, okay, on the earth, because they are the least among men, okay, the least among the nations. And that's why we constantly keep calling Esau the basest of men. You heard it here first from the Hebrew Israelites that Esau Edom is the basest of men. Now let's get this right now. What I want to type is what is the population of so-called white people, okay, because that's exactly what Esau refers to themselves as. What is the population of so-called white people on the earth? And this is right here. If white means somebody who is 90 to 100% European, then 1.1 to 1.2 billion people are white, including Europe, USA, and Latin America. If white means someone who is 90 to 100% Middle Eastern, North African, or European, then that number increases drastically to 1.3 to 1.5 billion. And what I want to say is, what is the percentage population of white people on the earth? And it's just like he said in his video that the actual percentage population is, close to 10, 11, 7. Sometimes people even say 7, and it all depends on the criterion for quote unquote whiteness, okay, so-called whiteness, right? Because, and this is actually very, very well documented in America, Babylon the Great. You have a lot of these heathen nations, right? A lot of these other heathen that are counted as so-called whites when it comes to the census in Babylon the Great. Like, for example, Indians, Asians, right? Your Chinese, your Japanese, right? Your darker Middle Easterns and North Africans, and that's why, like I just read, it's telling you that, oh well, North Africans, the Middle East and the Middle Easterners, and also the so-called Latinos as well, are also a part of the counting of so-called white people, right? And let's not forget that, whites, okay, or the term white people is not an actual race, but what it is a designation that was set up by Esau Edom in the 1600s to prevent Esau, Edomites from dealing with Jake, to prevent Edomite women from dealing with Jake. Basically, the term white was created as an anti-miscegenation identity, right? And of course, our people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, were now reassigned and given the term black to refer to our people. So all you jigs out there that are calling yourselves conscious and referring to yourselves as black Hebrew Israelites, especially those of you that are of the Hebrew Israelites that want to refer to yourselves as black, the spirit is clearly not dealing with you, because that identity is first and foremost, of course, the negative connotations that, aside from the negative connotations associated with that identity, you also have to know as well that the identity was created as a byword and a proverb against our people, and created to elevate Esau, Edom, and then being quote unquote so called white over our people. And that's why the term white was used. But now, in these last days, man, Esau is getting exposed, and by his own people, no less. And this Edomite looking individual, right? He came out and said, look, that the population of Edomites in the world are just what, little over 7, maybe 8%. And realistically, that's the case, because in only sub-Saharan Africa alone, you have the same amount of people as in Europe, and they are as same amount of white people as in Europe and the Americas. They are what, close to 1 billion sub-Saharan Africans. And when I say sub-Saharan Africans, right, what I mean by that is including Jake and the Hamites, everybody that is basically under the North Africa, so under the Sahara or North Africa. So from, say, Mauritania, Mali, the Sahel region, basically, if you know about your maps. And let me just do this instead. So just to make a case, okay. Here it is right here, Sub-Saharan Africa, and this is what I mean when I say Sub-Saharan Africa. Basically, African nations that are under the North African nations. So you have Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Libya, Tunisia. Okay, I think that was even Mauritania as well. Oh yeah, that is your Sub-Saharan Africa. And let me just get this. This is actually a map of Africa. So you see it right here: Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. Okay, I even have Western Sahara, and basically everything under that is your sub-Saharan Africa, and then your Sahel now runs in between, North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. So your Mauritania, your Mali, your Niger, Chad, and Sudan. That is the Sahel region. Okay. So basically, the reason I'm saying that is, rather than focusing on Jake, is because just to give you an idea of the populations of the world, and you have India, which is basically like 1.4 billion people, right? China, 1.1 or so billion people, and that is just in Asia alone. And if we now go to South America, you also get over 1 point something billion people there as well, right? And a good portion of those people are also Edomites as well. But like, basically, the idea is this: that Esau is a minority in this kingdom. He was never the majority, and no matter how much he tried to frame it and make it seem as though he was, okay. Esau Edom, the so-called red man that is ruling over the earth is not the majority, and just because somebody is white does not make them an Edomite. Okay, so you have a lot of our people, a lot of Israelites, right? Once again, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and this is the important part right here. The scattered Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. After all, it is not written, as the Most High said, that my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. Right? Let's get that precept. Jeremiah 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Right, so yeah, the Israelites, okay, or rather I should say the Edomites, okay. You have Israelites that are among the so-called, because it's not a real term, okay, and definitely not a real race, the so-called white people, right? But the real number of Esau Edom is far below what you're actually seeing, because hey, it wouldn't even come as a shock if you find out that majority of so-called white people are actually jigs, right? Because like the apostles on down always say, it isn't a color thing, it's a nationality thing, it's a spiritual thing. So, and according to, and even the scriptures tells you that Esau Edom is the lowest on the earth, right? The basest of men, and it's also the fewest in number. That's why we just read that in the book of Obadiah, right? The Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua has made them small among the heathen. In other words, their population is small and this is continuously diminishing, which is why you have this idea of, white genocide slash great replacement theory, where basically, these devils, man, they are terrified of the idea that they're going to be erased, okay? And this is just, of course, that's just that Edomite spirit, because, like, hey, the same way that people see visions, okay, the same way that people see visions of the destruction and see visions of the kingdom, right? It is the same way that Esau Edom is also seeing the same visions of destruction and the kingdom. But when our people see visions of the kingdom, they see themselves in thrones, they see themselves as regal kings, experiencing the beauty and the riches and the prosperity of the kingdom. But Esau Edom, he sees himself in perpetual captivity. It wouldn't surprise me if the average Edomite, you know, goes to sleep and has nightmares of themselves in plantations, and jakes are basically the massa, open their asses in the plantation, because that is what is about to come upon the earth. And these devils, they know their time is almost up, and that is why you are seeing this heavy rise in quote unquote conservatism, which is just good old fashioned Edomite hatred and racism against you Israelites. Once again, you so called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? But like I said, man, Esau is exposing himself right now, because even other Edomites, and he could be an Edomite, right? But it goes on the way on to say even other Edomites are beginning to see and are beginning to expose Esau for his wickedness. So let's get these precepts. Your tongue. So this is the book of Psalm 64 verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So you have Esau exposing Esau in this time, right? Satan against Satan, a kingdom divided against itself. And that's exactly what's happening right now. America, Babylon the Great, against NATO and the EU, NATO and the EU against Russia, a kingdom divided against itself, and it shall be destroyed. Hey man, beautiful things are happening right now, okay? And these devils are constantly being exposed for exactly what they are, the devil which the Bible speaks of. And that's why the Most High Yahweh Hashem is going to put you Edomites in captivity, and is going to eventually destroy you Edomites as well. Alright. And even the scriptures tell you that the majority of people on the earth are still Israelites, right? Because as the scriptures say, we be as the sand of the sea. Let's get that. Let me use this one. So this is the book of Isaiah 10. Alright, so Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10 verse 22. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. Right? Because our people are as numerous as the sand of the sea for number. But at the end of the day, right, only the elect will be delivered. So this is the book of Romans 9 verse 27. Romans 9 verse 27. Isaiah has also cried concerning Israel, though the number of Israel, and we just read that precept just now. Okay. We just read that precept just now. Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. For he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will Yahweh make upon the earth. And this is of course speaking of the elect. And this is of course speaking of the elect. But the main point being that our people are as numerous as the sand of the sea, and the vast majority of the people that are on earth are obviously, are going to be the Israelites. Okay, once again, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And our people are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, which is why we always say, hey, somebody could be a Jake, somebody couldn't, because by virtue of the curses that are on our people, we have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and we are basically, and the vast majority of our people are basically moving and believing themselves to be heathen, okay, but actually their bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So yeah, ultimately these devils are few in number, and the Most High Yahweh Shai is still going to gather them up and completely dust them and wipe them off the face of the earth, lay his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, scatter Esau and burn them as stubble. So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. However, Shabi Hawashai, Barashara Kakodash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom. After the spirit of your camp and your are edified, Shalom.